guys, it's Ty. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about all the books that I was not able to finish in the year 2021. Now, for the most part, I actually had a pretty good reading year. I was able to finish a majority of the things that I read. For the most part, a lot of the things that I read were pretty good. I only DNF'd about 10 books. Now, I will say there were some books that I read this year that I should have put down and not pushed through. But like I said, I only DNF'd 10. 2 of those books that I DNF'd, I do plan on at some point in the future attempting to pick those up again, hopefully. So we'll go ahead and start off with those 2 books, but I don't really plan on trying to go into like a synopsis on each of these books. That's not what we're here for. You guys, I'm pretty sure, just want to know why I did not finish these books. So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So the first book that I did not finish, but I plan to hopefully pick up one day in the future, is going to be Stephen King's The Stand. And this is actually one of his more popular books. And I tried to read this, I believe sometime over the summer. I got about 250-ish pages in before I decided to put this one down. And the beginning of this really hooked me. I was really invested. At some point in this, it just really slowed down for me. I cannot make myself go any further. But for some reason, I do want to pick this one back up because I just want to know why everybody is so in love with this book. I at one point wanted to try and pick up the audiobook, but that bad boy was like 50 hours and I don't have that kind of time either. So like I said, at some point I do want to try to pick this up. I don't know when, but sometime in the future I am going to try and attempt this one again. So the next one that I did not finish, and this is more of a recent read for me, is The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. And I tried to read this one in October for one of my like Halloween spooky reads. And this is one of the ones, again, I just could not get into. But to be fair, I was also trying to read about 20 other things in the month of October. So I also just felt like I could not dedicate a lot of time to this one, which I really wanted to, because this is like one of those books that I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of time with. They analyze it a lot, they annotate it a lot, and I really try to. I have like a few tabs in this one where I tried to like annotate it a little bit, but I just, for whatever reason, I could not get into this. And I was trying to buddy read it with a couple of my coworkers, and one of my friends, Ryan, I would ask him every couple of days like, hey, how far did you get into this? And he would be like, oh, I only got a couple of pages. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I only got 2 more pages into it too. And I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this down. There's no sense in me trying to force myself to read something that I'm just not into. So I'm hoping to try and pick this one up. If I do try to pick this one up again, it probably won't be until next like fall-ish time again. And hopefully I can set aside time specifically just for this. But if I can't get through this again, this one just might have to be a wrap, but I tried. Now these next few books are books that I know for sure I don't care about anymore. I tried it, I attempted one time, one and done, that's it. Now, majority of these books, they have already been resold. They're gone. I no longer have them. I only have 2 of them left. So I'll go ahead and just start off with those since I have physical copies of those left. But eventually you guys will see these in an unhaul video at some point. So like I said, I'll just go ahead and start off with those first. So this first one that I have, this has been making its rounds here lately on YouTube, on Instagram, on Book Talk. Everybody has been talking about this book. Everybody has been in love with this book. I tried to read this book. I believe it put me in a reading slump in the month of November because for about 2, almost 3 weeks of November, seriously, while I was reading this book, I was not in the mood to read anything else because this just took me out because I was just so miserable while I was reading it. And unfortunately, that is going to be The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I did not like this. I do not see the appeal that everybody else sees. I was really excited when I got this. I was really excited to start it. When I first, maybe like the first few pages, it was okay. But I just thought this was so boring. Nothing happened in this book. And I literally probably got through about 60 to 70% of this book before I put it down. Nothing happened. This is seriously a character-focused book. And to be fair, a lot of people who say that they are in love with this book is because they love the characters. So that's probably why I didn't care for it. This was not my jam. I did not care about any of these characters. I don't even know what to say. Like, it was just so boring. Even the characters to me just felt bland. Like nothing was interesting. Like they're all supposed to have these like magical powers. None of that was interesting. None of them really used their powers. In the 60 to 70% that I read, there was only one scene where we sort of kind of got to see them use their powers, and that was it. So maybe I missed like another big scene at the end, but Jesus, like getting there, oh my God. Now I do know that this was like I think like a self-published book. So I believe this got like picked up. There's like a new cover coming out, and I think it's about to be turned into like a series. So good for the author, but man, nope, this was not it for me. So kudos to you guys. I love this. I'm so happy for you, but this was not for me. So the other book that I have that I did not get rid of, I actually had this whole video planned of me reading the book and me reviewing the movie, and I just couldn't do it, and that is Stephen King's Red Rum. Red Rum. Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. I think I said Red Rum because that's on the cover. I got about probably a little close to like 200 pages in this. So this was boring. And this is supposed to be a sequel to The Shining, and I loved The Shining. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King's works, but The Shining is definitely one of my top favorites that I've read. So I was really excited about this, but I didn't like this. And I did not like the movie. So my plan was to do a review over this and then compare it to the movie, but I just didn't have anything coherent to say, and I just didn't feel like I would have made a good video to post. So I just scrapped the whole idea, and we didn't need a sequel, I don't think. I don't know who asked for a sequel to The Shining. Like, it ended well. We didn't need it. And because The Shining, the book, and then the movie were so different, I don't know why we would need a book based off of that, because then the movie would have to be so different from everything else. We just didn't need it. We didn't need it, and we definitely didn't need this. So, nope. And I had lost this book for a while. I just found it. So, yeah, yep, getting rid of this. So, yep, nope. So, the next few books that I'm going to talk about, I don't own. I got rid of these. Like, as soon as I DNF'd them, they went back to my used bookstore. So, we're going to go ahead and sift through those really quickly. So, the next one that I DNF'd, which is also like a YouTube darling, would actually have to be Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I think I got about 150 pages into that book as well. It just wasn't working for me. I wasn't connecting with any of the characters. I wasn't connecting with like the magic system. It's supposed to be based off of like King Arthur. I don't know anything about King Arthur. I don't know anything about that besides the name King Arthur, I guess. And the way that like everything was like told, I kind of felt like the author did this thing where she like gave us all this information like at one time, and I was confused. And I'm, you know, I don't really get confused like that, but like I was lost with like what was going on. And in that book, I just kind of felt like the character's reaction to everything was weird, because I just felt like the main character, I don't remember her name, but this is her first time hearing that there's a magic in the world, and these people are like giving her all this information, and she's just like, yep, okay, yep, that's fine, yes, all this magic is here, yep, okay. No, you don't have any questions? Like, this is okay with you? That's okay is all you have to say? It just wasn't, it didn't work for me. And then there was like this weird love triangle that was like forming that I wasn't really here for. I just, no. And then I saw the cover for like the second book, because I made videos that said if people were going to be excited about the second one, then I might potentially try to go back and read the first one, and then I might pick up the second one. But then I saw the cover for the second one, and I was like, no, nope. And the reason why I say that is because the cover for the second one, it looks like a totally different girl. Like, these characters don't even look the same. Like, who are these people? No, I'm good. I'm okay with that series. You guys just tell me if you like it. I'm good. It's okay. So then the next book that I tried to read is called Fantastic Land by Mike Bachhoven. I think that's how you say his name. And I actually attempted to read this book like 2 years in a row. So I tried to read it physically. That didn't work out for me. And I tried to read it or I tried to listen to it on audio, and for some reason I just wasn't connecting with this story, and I really wanted to. It was something that just really sounded like it was right up my alley. Kids, you know, in this amusement park. It was compared to like Lord of the Flies, hurricane that came through, and these kids are like trying to survive, and a lot of them end up dead, and everybody's trying to figure out why, and it's told in like the mixed media format. So it had like all the elements of things that I like, but it just did not click with me, so I just put it down. I gave it 2 tries, still didn't work for me. I haven't really heard anybody talk about that book besides the reviews that I've read on Goodreads, and I think it has a pretty good rating, but for whatever reason just didn't click with me, so I just decided to kind of give up on it. The next one that I did not finish, and this is another recent one that I tried to read in the month of October, and that was The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. Boy, did I really want to like this one. And the main thing that I did not like about this was how it was told. So this was like supposed to be like I guess like a movie script type of story, I guess. That's the best way for me to describe it. But it just, the way that it was written really took me out of the story. I did not like it. It was a really short story. I want to say it was either right under 200 pages or just a little slightly over 200 pages. I think I got about 60 pages in. I couldn't do it. Didn't like the writing style. I also did not like how many like horror movie references he put into that book. And the fact that I only got 60 pages in and there were so many references within those 60 pages, I can only imagine how many more there was in that book. It was so annoying, and it just didn't need to be that, in my opinion. I did not like it. And it was really upsetting for me because, one, I have 2 other books that I need to read by Stephen Graham Jones that I was really excited about, but now I'm hesitant to pick them up, so I still haven't picked them up yet. And I read his novella, The Night of the Mannequins, earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that. So I was really excited for this one. So I don't know how to feel about him, but yeah, I did not finish that one, and I'm not mad about it. The next one that I did not finish, and it's another YouTube darling, that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I think I got about 100 pages into that one. I just did not click with that story either. I felt like those 100 pages took me forever to read. The story sounded so interesting. I actually had that whole entire series because I just felt like going into that, I just knew that I was going to love that series. It sounded like something that I would really love, but I just could not get into that story. And it just read really slow to me. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just something about that story I just could not get into for whatever reason. I don't know if it was the writing style. I don't know if it was just kind of like how the story started off, and maybe if I would have just stuck with it a little bit longer, maybe it would have grown on me, but I just gave up. And when I was reading it, it just made me, it was one of those stories that I didn't want to keep picking it up. Like when I put it down, I didn't want to go back to it. It was one of those. So I was not mad when I gave that series away. Hopefully my friend will enjoy it because I didn't. The next one is The Dead in the Dark by Courtney Gold. I think I'm saying that right. And this is a e-arc that I got from NetGalley. It was one of my first ones I got from NetGalley. So I was really excited about that. And it was an audio. And I didn't like it. And I thought it was, again, these are like stories that I just could not get into. And this is like one of the ones that I was like really excited about because it was supposed to be like a spooky ghost story, paranormal. We had this family that is supposed to be like a family of ghost hunters. Again, something that sounded like it was going to be right up my alley, and I just could not mesh with this story. Oh my gosh, it was like so slow. Again, it was like one of those stories I don't think I've heard a lot of people talk about. It has pretty decent ratings on Goodreads, but I don't know, it was just really mediocre to me. I could not force myself to listen to it. It was putting me in a slump. I just could not. I'm just one of those people, I can't force myself to read anything that I don't want to because I find myself getting into slumps when I'm forcing myself to read things that I don't want to read. And I actually ended up Googling what happened at the end of that one because I heard it was like such a twist on what was really going on because it was like a horror mystery, and I really did want to know what was going to happen at the end. It was just taking too long to get there. So I did Google it. It seemed like the ending did have a nice twist, but I was just too impatient to wait to get there. So, I mean, it was all right. The parts that I listened to. Some people that I actually follow on YouTube have read that book and gave it good reviews. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just could not get into that. So maybe other people will like it. I don't know. And then the last one that I have to talk about, which I read, I think back in like February, and this is Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. And I hope I said that right. But I actually tried, that was my second time trying to read this. And this is like a short novella-ish novel. And this one, again, it was just one of those books I just was not gelling with. I think it was a story that was too short for what it was trying to do. It was a lot of things happening in a short amount of time. It was trying to touch on like a lot of social justice issues. It had like magic going on in it. It just had like a lot of stuff going on without like a lot of explanation. And I don't like that. I kind of feel like when you have those type of stories, I need more explanation than what that book was trying to give. And I think it could have been something that was really great if it was a little bit longer. And I think, I want to say the second time around, I was able to get further in it, but I still couldn't make it to the end because I don't want to say I didn't understand what was going on, but I wish that the author could have made it into like a full-length novel. That way they could have gave a lot more explanation to the things that was going on. That was all for that one. So that is all that I have for you guys. And if you guys have actually finished any of these books, please let me know down in the comments why you like these books. And if you guys did not finish these and ended up DNFing these, please tell me why you guys DNF'd. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.